So obviously last week we talked about the Chicago Bulls extending Billy Donovan, kind of forever enclosing him in their land of mid and mediocrity and everything of that nature. And today we're moving slightly up the food chain in the NBA. And we're going to put the tweet on the screen, not from Shams Charania, because finally he did not tweet about something that won't have his thing on the screen. Instead, we're going directly to the source. We got the Boston Celtics Twitter on the screen right now. Shout out NBA Paint because they remade their logo and that's currently their profile picture. So shout out them. But it says, we have signed Joe Mazzulla to a multi-year contract extension. So obviously, for just some context and for those that don't know the situation, Joe Mazzulla was the assistant coach back in the 21-22 season for Ime Udoka when the Celtics went to the finals, lost to the Warriors. Then Mazzulla got into some trouble off the floor that we will not talk about on the show. Udoka. My fault. Ime Udoka got in some off-court trouble and stuff like that. Celtics suspended him, fired him. Mazzulla got promoted. Celtics got to the conference finals, and the year afterwards, they won the championship. And now, here they are after a second-round exit. There's no Tatum. They're presumably punting this season. But it seems like Mazzulla is going to be here for the long haul with Tatum, Brown, and the gang. So, Gio, as someone who is high on Joe Mazzulla, was never always high on the Celtics, what's kind of your thoughts on this move?
Yeah, I think this move immediately shows us that the Celtics trust Mazzulla. Because how many years was the deal?
They don't really say with coaches. They're more privatized, but typically coaching extensions are anywhere from 3 to 6 years.
Okay, so that's kind of long.
Yeah.
3 to 6 years, yeah. I mean, they trust Mazzulla, and they feel that he's done enough in his past to have the next 3 to 6 years with the Celtics. So.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Antoine?
I mean, Joe comes into a situation that is probably a lot in his favor because the head coach is gone. He's got to step up. The team is already good, so that's a good thing he has. Again, this year coming up with Tatum out, you can't look at Mazzulla as the scapegoat at all for anything, even with the roster they have. And locking up Joe is immense because if he were to hit the open market, he immediately shoots up to the 29 other teams' top of their coaching list right away. Even if you have guys already there, Mazzulla would shot up to number one for everybody. I guess the only guys that probably would not interview probably be like Spoelstra or like Redick. Any of those guys. Maybe Redick would be gone. But Mazzulla would be the highest guy probably on everybody's list. So the new owners come in, they lock him up, and you kind of have everybody set up for the next 5 years with Tatum and Brown and now the coach as well. So you have a window of this next 5 years, and then you see what happens going forward. They're under the CBA. Second apron now, so that's good for them. More flexibility is good for the new owner and for Mazzulla as well. So well-deserved for Joe. He comes in and immediately, gets the job done, gets a championship within 1.5 to 2 years. He hops in. It's tough to do that, but like I said, the team is already there, so he didn't really have to rebuild an entire core. And being the assistant coach, he kind of instills his philosophy, learning from Ime, who also is going on his way in the West too. So it would be interesting to see a Celtics-Rockets NBA Finals.
Definitely not this year.
You have the I guess, the apprentice in Mazzulla, and then the leader in Ime.
The mentee and the mentor.
The mentee and the mentor. But I doubt the Celtics will make it this year. Maybe next year. The Rockets still might have a full team with KD. That would be really fun to watch for sure. But again, deserved. Brad Stevens did his job. And, I think the thing they need to focus on this year is just look plausible for the fans. Just give it all their best because, it's all they really can do. This moment.
They honestly don't even need to do that. They could literally win 20 games, get the first pick, and then you bring in this guy, whoever it's like, could be Debanza, could be Cam Boozer, could be really anyone, and you pair that with a Tatum that's healthy again, with Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and company. It's quite insane. True. And to me, this extension really shows a lot for Boston specifically, because Wyc Grousbeck will no longer be the Celtics governor.
Yeah.
effective, I think, immediately.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to stay on until 2028. Tatum getting hurt probably, changed some things. The Celtics won't be competitive anymore. And Bill Chisholm's just going to take over, hire the people that he needs to hire. And it seems to me that both Brad Stevens and Joe Mazzulla, I guess he shares the same philosophy as the Grusbecks did, talking about Bill Chisholm. And I think it kind of gives this team a sense of security, saying that, look, this team is capable of being that next dynasty. But right now, you're just going to have to weather the storm without your best player. And because of that, you're able to add so many more assets going forward. And Joe Mazzulla is going to instill his philosophy on whoever comes in, whether that's a new draft pick, a free agent, a big trade. There's so many different ways that, this roster could look next season. And I really like the move. I was hesitant with Joe Mazzulla. I was very skeptical on his coaching style. Mm-hmm. I thought he was just an Ime Udoka merchant. It was just the roster that he inherited, which, is the truth. This was Ime's roster, but the Celtics made numerous conference finals and won NBA finals and couldn't get it done. Mm-hmm. He got it done. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's like bigger than most things. And, think about it this way. In the past 10 champions, Joe Mazzulla and Steve Kerr are the only coaches that are still with the team they won the championship with. Everyone else has gotten fired.
Wow.
So that has to be said for something. And obviously Spoelstra's still there, but they won their championship so long ago.
Yeah.
And they don't switch the coaching carousel that much. Even Popovich isn't coaching the Spurs anymore. So I guess I'll ask you the question here, Gio. When Tatum comes back next season, do you think the Celtics will would you call them the instant title favorites for 2027?
Honestly, yes. And I think that's because I'm banking on the Celtics to not be a playoff team this year.
Yeah.
This year. So that means they're going to be very well rested. That means they're going to get a decent draft pick. You know what I mean? That means that, Tatum comes back. And then the next year, I think they still got some guys in there that are hoopers. So I would make them my title favorite instantly, especially in a weak East.
It's tough, though, because remember, that East could be a lot better in 2027. Remember, Halliburton comes back as well, so the Pacers will be a threat. Mm-hmm. The Knicks and Cavs will still hang around. The Pistons' magic will get better. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens with other teams that are building up, like Toronto and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't really call Philly a title contender much anymore because Embiid's like, some doctors are, recommending retirement for him.
Insane.
Because his knee is so screwed up.
Feels bad for him.
So, but we'll talk about that when more information comes out at a later date. But I don't know. It's tough to call the Celtics a title favorite.
Well, listen.
At that time.
A fully healthy Celtics right now. Let's say they had all their guys. Let's say that fatigue is not a factor.
Right.
Based on the roster, the Celtics roster is still the best in the East. No doubt about it, at least in my mind. Even against the Pacers, even against the Cavs or whoever else, Magic, whoever else, Knicks.
Think for me, with the Pacers and Celtics specifically, I need to see who the centers are.
Well, isn't KP still over there?
No, we got traded to Atlanta.
KP's in Atlanta.
Oh,
yeah. And remember, Horford's gone.
Yep.
Right.
So
well, yeah.
Yeah, because they aren't contending. There's no reason for Horford to stay.
Right.
You might as well go either ring chase or just retire. You've already gotten your ring.
Honestly, just retire, bro.
Yeah, you probably could because right now he's in talks with the Warriors, and I don't think he wants to do that.
No.
But it's tough because the Celtics have everything they need but a big man. Mm-hmm. And Amias Queta is still very raw. We don't know if he's the guy. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, teams like the Knicks, the Cavs, the Thunder, they all have guys that have centers that are established, have won championships, and can hold their own. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, my understanding is that the Celtics will make a big trade next summer.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me at all, especially if it's for a center. But I just don't know who that would be, at the time.
Right.
So it's tough. Maybe like a guy like Daniel Gafford becomes available or Derek Lively. Like, crazier things have happened.
Yeah. Crazy stat about Daniel Gafford, though.
Let me hear it.
I actually forgot the specific numbers, but those charts where they show like the players' faces, and it's like there's like a chart where it's like how many blocks and then like how many attempts or something like that.
Like
and
a line graph?
Yeah, it's like one of those graphs.
Mm-hmm.
Gafford, based on that chart, which I have to bring up, I can't find it right now, but based on that chart, he was ranked the best defender in the NBA.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Based on that chart, right? Based on that graph. So
Is that from this past season specifically?
this past season.
Yeah, because I know in Washington they always like throttled single coverage with him. So that's why Jokic took so long to get a triple-double against the Wizards.
Yeah.
Because they would just throw single coverage at him with Daniel Gafford at the
Right.
5.
Right.
And I think they still kind of do that in Dallas. That's just the way he plays. I think that's where he thrives, to be honest.
He's an amazing defender.
Yeah, you're a
Help
big
defender.
you're a big Gafford
I'm a
guy.
huge Gafford guy. I think he helps a lot with winning. So if they can pick up Gafford somehow, that'll be amazing for the Celtics.
It would, yeah. He just signed an extension, so if things maybe don't transpire in Dallas and Lively does take the leap we expect him to, then there's a chance then he could be expendable. I'm not saying he'll be a Celtic, but it's possible. But
Right.
we know how great the Celtics are when it comes to their front office. They've historically been great. They barely make mistakes. Brad Stevens is him. So we'll just have to see.